so much for being here. Inzwi is one of the clients that I've been serving, and I'm very happy and excited that he was willing to chat with us here today and just talk a little bit about his experience with coaching. So I met Inzwi's mom, Rose, through Clubhouse, and she heard what I had to say. I think it was, I don't know, I think it was talking about planning about the future, because that's almost always what I'm focused in on. So I think she liked what I had to say. Then we did an introductory meeting. That's where I first got to meet Inzwi. So it was just such a pleasure to meet you, and your brothers too were there. And so I got to meet the whole family in South Africa. I'm here in Colorado, but you were there and you were thinking about coming to college in the US, and you were starting to make those plans and think about finalizing them. And then basically I was here to help you transition and make that move from your high school years to come on over here. So nice to see you here today. Inzwi, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing really well. It's pretty cold outside, but I'm enjoying my day.
Yeah, we got snow out here too. It's a little bit different in Ohio where you are now than South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah. Right now I'm in Ohio.
Yep. Cool. All right. So, as we think about like how we connected and, what you were working through, I mean, I've never been to the other side of the ocean myself. I'm 52 and I've never done what you did. So tell me about what was going through your mind, what you're thinking about coming to the US and coming for college. Like, what were the kind of things that were maybe, making you think about, hey, it might be a good idea to have a good support person? What was going on for you?
Yeah, especially like going across the ocean to a whole different environment, whole different culture. I wasn't sure of like who would I meet there? Would I gel with the people? There were a lot of questions going through my mind in terms of like, would I be fine? What support system would I need when I'm there? Would I be supported when I'm there? It was a lot going through my mind because it's a huge jump. It's a huge jump. And going to the college space as well, it's like a different level of accountability that's expected of you. A lot of more responsibilities and all that. So it was at that point in time, I wasn't sure how I was going to handle the transition.
What was the scariest thing on your mind? Like, what were you going through? Like, oh, it'd be really nice to have, this thing kind of become more clear or figure it out. Like, what was the biggest uncertainty thing that was maybe on your mind that was the scariest?
I would say making friends and really getting planted in the community. That's something that I wasn't sure of because, especially in my case, I was at one school throughout my whole middle school, elementary, middle school, and high school experience. So from grade 0 to about 12th grade, I had basically the same set of friends, same set of people, same environment. So now flipping that onto the other side, now it was a tough transition, like tough thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I have kind of a set program, but the beauty of being able to work one-on-one, we worked a little bit one-on-one. Then I actually had another client that I introduced you to as well. So we kind of like a trio for a couple calls just as a bonus. And it was really nice to connect you with another client of mine. But we did dial right in on like that social stuff and that friend stuff. So that was something that was kind of not necessarily planned, but it was like definitely one of those things that became a thing that was on your mind. So how did you feel about like, so obviously you said yes to working with me as a coach. And then, well, why did you do that? Like, what was the reason for giving the thumbs up to even, deciding to pick me as somebody to support you as you made that transition from South Africa to here?
Oh, definitely. You challenged me in a really good way. You allowed me to think of different, think of problems in a different way. And you really allow me to get my own answers, by asking the right questions and really, I'd say, work my brain. At the same time, you also provide information that was really beneficial and a lot of resources that really helped me, like a lot with the things I was dealing with, like along my journey.
Yeah, like friends was the first thing. Like that was like social stuff, and it was hard because it seemed like, I think if I remember right, like people had like, it seemed like there's like cliques, And then your question to me, I think, was like, well, how am I supposed to jump in on that? So do you remember that a little bit?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And was that specific thing? Was that helpful on just kind of dialing into something that really was on your mind right then and there? Like you're here and that was the thing on your mind. How was that helpful to you?
May you please repeat the question? Just like,
Yeah, just like as you were thinking about, well, I had all these friends forever from 5 years old to 18. And then you come here and you're like, it seemed like when you join, when there was groups that seemed like already have a conversation going, your challenge was like, well, how do you jump in on that? And how do you not feel awkward? And, how do you not, how do you figure out some of these things that they're saying that are a little bit different, that you're maybe not picking up on those cues? So you're like, how do you interject yourself into a conversation like that? So do you remember like how that was beneficial to you once you actually had to try that next time out?
oh yes, I remember that. Oh, and then implementing the things. It was a lot of practice throughout that week. It was like a lot of conversations. I had to really like in my head go through the steps, but then once I got the steam, like got the ball rolling, it was like really good. Definitely the way you gave me the information, like gave me the help. You gave me like the steps. You said, oh no, not steps, but he gave me like stages and stuff. Saying, okay, you can try this and try that. And then I tried those strategies. And definitely like that really helped me, especially the way I think of a lot of things, like a lot of the way I problem solve. You really like gave me the right method to attack that problem for me.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Mm,
awesome. Yeah, and I mean, it's just like some of these things. I'll be totally honest. Like it's an experiment sometimes when we're making
mm,
something up and on the spot to problem solve. It might not work on the first time out, and
mm.
it's I appreciated that when you were challenged, you're receptive. So I love working with clients that are just going to be like super receptive to go out and try it and just trust the process. And that doesn't mean trust it's going to work for sure, but just like
Mm.
trust to actually try it out and experiment with it. So you're always good about like seeing what happens and then like reporting back. And if it needed to be dialed in more, we would just dial it in more. But yeah, I appreciate how receptive you are to being challenged and then going for it. So let's see. So what about, as you think about, if I've got clients, if you think about somebody else in your shoes, maybe they're making that transition, maybe not from another country to America, but maybe they're making that transition from one grade level to another or to life beyond high school. And they're kind of on the fence. Maybe let's maybe not think about the parents, but more like a student. And they're like, I don't
Mm.
know about that coaching thing. Isn't that for old people? Why would we do coaching? So if they're on the fence with it a little bit, what do you think what would you say if there's debating about it and thinking about it and not sure?
I would say transition periods are always going to be very uncertain, right? Especially like going through from grade to from one grade to the next grade or going from high school to college. There's always going to be a transition period. I'd say it's always good to have people in your corner who can support you. Um, and coaching is one of the methods for support, which I would highly recommend, because it allows a lot of accountability, which is a huge thing when you're going through transition periods, and especially like um, I'll consider myself young, but when speaking to younger people, like when you're young, like you need to put in place certain systems and try be ahead of the rest of like the rest of be ahead of your peers, and it's like best to put in the systems before then try to play catch up later on, if you feel what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole idea. Like, if there's a difference between coaching and counseling that's really clear is like sometimes if somebody's needing therapy or counseling or that kind of thing, it's because they have already fallen behind and they are playing catch up, almost like trying to, tread water in life. And then coaching is definitely about keeping ahead and getting an advantage. And yeah, just like you said, to make sure you're not playing catch up, so that you have
Mm,
those things put into place proactively. So for sure, it's really good. Let's
mm,
see. So What was like when we made a connection with like another client, like that was just kind of an idea that I had. What was it like to just connect up with somebody else that I was coaching at the same time? And what did that do for you? Just making another connection. So it was just the three of us. I didn't have like a group coaching thing. And we did something, I think, with maybe 4 or 5 people once as well. So you were open-minded again with both of those options. I was just throwing those in there as bonuses to support you. What was it like to connect up with somebody else that was doing the same kind of, getting the same kind of support?
Oh, it was really nice. Just to connect to someone like on my level, was really beneficial. I think, now we speak on LinkedIn, and I think I have his Instagram as well. So like we can also bounce around ideas as well. It was a really good way just to speak to someone who's in your shoes in the same program. Um, it was, I think it was, I don't know how to word this correctly. It was,
Work it out.
yeah, I'm just trying to get the cogs rolling. But it was really good because I think definitely I got to see the experience from a different perspective, and also see the similarities and differences of where we are coming from, and move together forward and just learn from each other,
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So awesome. So yeah, as I think back to like your faith is always important to you. And I think I am
Mm.
wide open, to anybody. I'm super inclusive. And then your faith, I mean, it feels like when you have a strong faith and you have some, it's more focused in on, helping you proactively put systems in place and try out ideas, and has a lot of experience with like the 4-year high school cycle and helping kids with their future. Did you at least feel like supported, and like there was like no awkwardness with like your strong faith? And then did you feel like that, like because with us working together, did you feel supported, that your faith is supported, and like you're able to really have that type of piece of your goal added into all your whole value system and the lifestyle you want to create?
Oh yes, I definitely felt supported. The work we did, like it really helped me move forward actually in my faith. Like you helped me achieve the goals I set for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. And those are definitely important. Like I think the picture I thought about when I was in a high school counselor is like, we're just getting them their career and academic plan. Like in Colorado, we got the individualized career and academic plan as a requirement. So it's like, pretty strictly academic and career focused. And obviously in the schools, the faith is not a piece of what's in there, but certainly within tailoring the coaching and just working with people individually, I want to just be super supportive. So I'm glad you felt that. So yeah, and we don't need to stay on a lot longer, but maybe some anything else that's on your mind that you thought, it's not normal yet for everybody to have coaching. If we
Mm.
look at coaching for like you do football or soccer, yeah, so soccer in America, football in South Africa. But
Gotcha.
so coaching is accepted in all these areas, and you got like travel teams or high level teams. And so this is the game of life. So, when not many people use a coach for the game of life, and you think about why that matters, what are your thoughts? What comes to mind right now when you just think about why it might be beneficial with the game of life to have somebody that's coaching you at that big game?
Yo, definitely using the sports analogy. The thing is with a coach can when you're in the field of play, right? You make your own decisions, you do X, Y, Z. But a coach can also help you move from point A to point B. And it's like in soccer, there are 11 players on the field, right? And the coach is seen as the 12th player on the field, where they can also help you and they're in your corner, someone to like help you move forward and help the team just um achieve that common goal. And in the game of life, I think that's very essential, because a lot of the times like you can sometimes feel alone, or you're attacking a problem by yourself, but having a coach will allow you to have that base where now say, okay, I have someone that can, help me with this problem, or I can attack this problem through this, like through this help that is given, and also the tools that you can develop from this interaction is like, I think it's really beneficial and something that I really benefited over my time. Mm.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think you got amazing parents. And I think there's also, times when clearly it's nice to have somebody who's objective. So if you got amazing parents, and then somebody thinks, well, I got it. I'm a parent. I've got this. And I definitely know they don't have 20 years of experience with like that, like that whole teenage years in the high school. So that's, my plug for, what I've learned over the years. But what would you say, like, if a kid has really, really good parents, and then you
Mm.
still might think about why it would be important to add a coach in the mix? What do you think there? What does it do to have somebody else's perspective?
Mm, mm. Oof, the different perspective allows you to attack like a lot of problems differently. I think for me, the way you allow me to tackle a lot of problems was different to how my parents would address certain problems. And I think allow me to have a little bit of agility moving from problem to problem, ultimately going towards the goal.
Yeah.
And I think that was really good because allow me just to move like from situation to situation, especially like in the crazy life, I'm living, traveling all the time and, you know, in a different place every now and then, having that agility to move was really beneficial, and agility to problem solve was really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I was thinking when you said goal right there, I was thinking about in soccer. Soccer is a weird game because it's not like you can just like in basketball drill a lot of threes and put up a lot of points. There's even positions where you probably go like many seasons without scoring. And so to me, it's like that's a hard game to figure out what's the goal of some of those positions on the soccer field. So same thing within life. I think, those goals are a lot of people are always looking for results. So in coaching, especially if it's not like business coaching, because I've done business coaching too, business coaching super result oriented. So I think in this case, maybe there's like something personal to you that really stuck out as like maybe the biggest result that you got from it. And maybe it's not as clear as like it is when somebody scores a goal in soccer. Maybe it is, but what do you think? What's probably the biggest thing that came out of you is just like a personal result?
Oof, I think a personal result for me, like that came out of like our interactions was, um, I'd say one would be a framework. I'll give two. One would be like a broad one, but the first one is a broad one. The framework to really address issues is one, and then the one that is specific, I'd say for me, would be the friendship element, like just connecting with people and having conversations. That was like one thing that really, like, you helped me with, and
That's
connecting with people, yeah, especially from different cultures. So there's a lot going on. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, right above Ohio, so I know that Midwestern, American vibe. But yeah, but Ohio, a totally different breed from Michigan. Just gotta say, because growing up in Ann Arbor, being a Michigan fan, I definitely know Ohio State, and everybody down in Ohio is just like it seems like two different worlds when those two teams are playing football. So, and thanks for not bringing up the Detroit Lions our whole time here. We're going to cut you off now. Don't say anything. Just
I was
kidding.
about to.
Be my guest. If you had any final parting words in the Lions, you could do that. I'm just playing. But yeah, if you have anything final to say, and even if you wanted to like throw the Lions under the bus or me being a fan of them, you could do that too. But any last thing that you want to share with anybody that is just considering working with me, and any last thoughts on your mind as we close it out today?
I would just say, transition period is always special, and that's the time where we grow the most. So I'd say do the most you can, and never say what was it you said? Never say I will do it. Say I am doing it.
Hmm.
Oh, I think that's it.
Yeah, it was
So
maybe,
just
was it a Yoda reference? Like
yeah,
trying
yes.
versus doing? All right,
Oh,
cool.
I'm trying to do it. Yes, never say
Yeah,
I'm trying to do it. Say I will do it.
yeah.
So just attack the problem head first, and I think definitely I'd recommend coaching.
That's cool. Yeah, those problems are tough all by ourselves, and we just don't have to do them by ourselves. I think, coaching really came out of executive coaching. I think when people are at the tippity top, back in the 80s and 90s when coaching evolved, they've got nobody to turn to. And I think a lot of teenagers feel that same way. And I think, it doesn't have to be that there's, with coaching, it's not that there's a mental health problem. It's more like, how do we have mental health optimization and maybe the spiritual optimization and the emotional optimization. It's all about bringing the best to the table. So, I guess the last thing is like the dreaming big. I harp on that quite a bit. So what's it like to be, dreaming, and then do you feel like you jump big enough without a little bit of assistance to push it bigger? Or how did you feel like that when we talked about your focus on the future and your vision that you created? What would you say there, I guess, before we close out? I'm just curious on that one.
Oh, I have a lot of big goals. I think very big goals. A lot of people, um, like a lot of people I've spoken to might be like, oh, those goals are a bit, out of proportion. But definitely dreaming big is I think personally a good thing. Um, and then to take those steps to get there is the key. Uh, I think anything really is attainable.
Did you feel
Um,
like I was pushing back, like, oh, that's too big?
no, no, I think you would want me to actually delve into everything, saying, okay, where do you want to go? What, like, why is that? You would want me to expand on that and actually rationalize that. Um, where a lot of other like times I will not, I'll just have that goal there sitting to the side, and then like no connection there, just sitting to the side. But then you'd actually allow me to visualize it and then not actually try and make that action.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely something I see, is that the dreams out there, they're too small. And I worked with elementary school kids, and I see like those hands coming out of the socket in like second and third grade to answer any question under the sun. They're daring and dashing and they're going for stuff. But then we get older, and some people want to maybe say, all right, yeah, maybe it's time to like pivot from that dream. Maybe it's time to shut that down, or maybe it's time to just make it a little smaller and realistic. And I just think, people do amazing things out there. And if you're one of the people that's investing in that extra layer of support, go big.
Hmm. Go big or go home.
Well, Inzwi, yeah, I really feel like you're going to go big, and like you're going to keep going from here. And I really have just been honored. It's been a total honor to work with you, and it's been great to get to know you and have you make fun of my Detroit Lions every time we meet. You always seem to sneak it in right at the end, and it's just been great to work with you.
Thank you so much for helping me and just being there for me like my journey through the thick and thin, through the ups and downs. Thank you so much for being in my corner. I really appreciate it.
Of course. All right, that's it for today. So we've stopped out of the Facebook right there, and yeah.